Hey, so this is part 2, yeah, for divine femininity versus the Jezebel spirit. Yeah, hot of fire, not a pretender or liar. Now, I'm not saying that, most women in their lower nature is a Jezebel. Yeah. But these are just pointers to use to have good judgment, with the type of females that are around. And me sharing my experience with those females, I realized that they will suck your fucking energy, They're vampiric. And when you being around these females, you realize that you lose more than you gain, which is a contradiction to feminine energy, because I'm more life, Like, a woman with negative energy embodiments is like a walking disaster, man. Even a man, it's just pure stagnancy they cause. Yeah. Because these people, they want yours and everybody's energy to be on them. They want everyone to think highly of them, and if you don't, they will go out of their way to destroy you. Yeah. And when a woman can't control her jealousy, man, I tell her, towards other women, she ends up destroying herself. And sadly, I have witnessed that. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. It's not a point. So yeah. Divine feminines have no desire to be worshipped or to be put on a pedestal by others. She does this for herself with the Almighty. Yeah. I don't care to be validated. Yeah. Because really, when you help people, most of the time you don't get thanks, and you can't take that personal. Especially when you know that you're doing, work for the divine. You just direct your energy different. And you have this understanding that even if it doesn't come from the person that you have given to, it will come back around, because everything is a cycle. And just like how the saying that says, what's in the dark comes to light, it goes both ways with good things. If you do good things in the dark, it will come to light. So people carry memory. If they don't carry anything else, they carry memory, And people will always remember good and bad. So it's up to them what kind of seeds they want to sow. And I don't believe, as a woman, I should be going around sowing bad seeds. And I'm not trying to be liked by everybody, But why would I want to project destruction, onto my environment and others? Like, I can't fathom people that thrive like that, And I know, like, spiritually, yeah, they have some parasitic attachment, yeah, and it does alter the brain, you know, to function and to see things a different way. But yeah, you have to take responsibility, especially as an adult, you know. We're not children anymore, yeah. And I try my best to protect what's left of my purity and, you know, my innocence, yeah. We should all thrive to gain back that, because it makes us childlike. And when I mean childlike, it's like we are carefree in a sense where we have no attachment, you know, no egoic attachments, yeah. But yeah, let's get into the next point. Divine feminines are not speakers or spreaders of gossip and rumors amongst other women. She minds her business the most. Jezebels love to gossip, spread rumors, to tear down other women with like-minded females. So yeah, the realest females don't really have friends, you know. Because I feel like a lot of faking goes on, you know, in a lot of females' interaction. Yeah. And I notice, you know, females that have made fun of me, yeah, end up starting to copy the things that I do. And I find it funny, you know, like, if you wanted the knowledge, you could have just asked first, and you wouldn't have, you know, you would even get more information than what you have observed and received, yeah. But anyway, they are male-minded. They like to compete, and you know, people like to feel like there is this pretty privilege, but with women that are beautiful, you know. And let's say that shit don't really even make sense, because once you understand the intention behind a lot of people's actions, you would be fucking disgusted, you know, with most people that try to interact with you. Because most people see pretty women as fucking idiots. Like, we're I am a fool on our foreheads. Like, come on. You know? And that's why you have to have strong boundaries. Yeah? If you're a woman of talent, you know, eccentric beauty, yeah, creativity, you have to have your boundaries, because not just even against males, but women that are in their lowest of nature, who have done no too little work on themselves to be comfortable, you know. and accepting of everything that is, within and out. But yeah, they copy. And I, as a woman, I do things genuinely because, the energy that I've received. Because even with my music has, my songs came from raw pain, the things that I went through. Yeah. And to see some little artist girl, just I try for just coming on my lane to seem relevant. It doesn't even make sense to me, honestly. Like, come on, focus on yourself, because I'm focused on myself. I'm in my lane, and I'm not driving no mini car. I'm driving a big monster truck. Yeah? So you will get run over. You will get run the fuck over. So don't focus on me. Yeah? I'm an alien. Can't study me. Yeah? Yeah, you can't. Like, come on. I'm a natural woman. I still climb trees and shit too. Yeah. Mango time now. Yeah. I'm gonna go get some mangoes. I'm a rough woman. Like, how you want to compete with a woman that has brothers and, they naturally challenge her. Like, that type of woman confidence is like a juggernaut. Yeah. You can't hurt my ego. Like, bullies, I find it even fascinating when bullies try to bully me and they realize that I do got a bark. Because one thing, your brother's going to teach you how to fight. Yeah? Whether by fighting you or just, calling you to spar with them, but yeah, you're going to learn to fight. You're going to learn to defend yourself. Yeah. But anyway, it's not a bag of chattings. I don't like arguing. I don't do that. Got too much energy. Yeah. I like to size up some people, man. I mean, they think that, oh, I'm just a little bait, I won't do anything. I'm thinking about so many ways that I can hit you without you even seeing coming, So, be careful. Careful. Yeah. Divine feminines love to stay exclusive with limited access to her essence, protecting her energy, making time to pour back into herself. Jezebel women are inclusive, with paid access to their energy, expecting others to pour into them, their own needs. I'm grateful for support. I am. I show appreciation. But as far as taking care of my needs, my emotional, my mental, my spiritual, most of my physical needs, I don't look towards others for that to happen, And in the past, people try to attach themselves in that way where they think, I need them until I show them that I don't, Because, as I said, pretty privilege don't really exist. People just want to give you things so that, they can have access to you. or feel like they have, some obligation to your energy. Yeah. Yeah, some people would like you, especially if you have that good personality to match with it, But most of the times, their intentions aren't pure. And if you have a pure heart, majority of people don't have that as you. So you have to be mindful of the pearls you cast, and don't cast it to swines, Because I've done that. Yeah, especially with some females. And I just took my energy back, took my power back, move on with my life, I'm more focused on helping the younger women in my family. Yeah. Being a strong support system for them. Because me trying to help females outside, they take it the wrong way most times. They start to see me as competition. Or, they start to get jealous and envious of how I make things look. Because I don't have things easy, And some people think I do. Yeah, because I make it look good. That's the magic, man, nigga. Yeah. Some people wouldn't even like they wouldn't believe the stories that, I would tell them with the things that I've been through. Because I don't look, like what I've been through. And it's because I have my back, I know how to pour into myself. I know I have my rituals that that bring me back to myself. So, yeah, taking care of myself is the basis. Self-care is the basis of healing, And I wouldn't wish, my problems on nobody. It's surprising that some of them would want it. And it's true, like you have some very sick people out there that would want, your struggles because they want to say that, they've been through certain things, and they would want it in a way that they can use it to have even sympathy, to get sympathy from others. I'm not looking for sympathy. And I'm not looking to lead, like to rule over anybody, to control people, minds especially. If it's anything that I want is to encourage, other women to think for themselves, and to question things. Yeah. But yeah, let's get into the other point. Divine feminines are conscious, logical thinkers with practicality, having emotional and self-control. Jezebels are emotionally reactive to the truth. They have no groundation within to what is real. Now, the divine feminine will naturally give birth to masculinity, divine masculinity. So, of course, she's going to be practical and logical as well. Yeah. If it's one thing that I am grateful for is that I am able to look at the things that are even hard to look at. And I feel like that's what makes me taboo too, Things that people that, would find like blood chilling, I would look at it, you know, but not in a way like as in I want to see it, but in a way of observing, you know, because my mind has the state where it's, you know, non-dual. It's not looking at things as bad or good. It's just looking at it, you know. And yeah, you have to just see things for what it is. Because, you know, even though nature is beautiful, it's chaotic, you know, it's destructive in some ways. And it's all natural. Yeah. Even, you know, the other day my puppy, my dog, my female dog had some puppies, and it was just 4 puppies, but 2 had passed away, you know, to natural causes. And of course I felt bad, but, you know, I understand, like, it's natural selection, because 2 are alive right now, strong as ever, yeah, doing the thing. But I accept it as it is. I ain't trying to curse nature and say, oh, it's wicked. And no, it's nature. It is what it is. And that is one thing that men, even men, you know, have a hard time accepting, because it go against everything their ego believes. Yeah. But anyway, divine feminines are women of their words. They understand that their actions must have a bond with their words. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I've noticed with the musical mentor, and this is not to bash anybody, you know, but it's just what I've observed with the character of this woman, right? So she said she would want to do business, but she is not someone that is loyal, you know. And why I say is that she's always looking for the next best thing, you know. She's not looking to grow the best things. And what I witness is that she has went out of her way to destroy other women, you know, as an older woman even, you know. And when I see things like this, like, I'm disappointed, because you're not really setting an example. Not for me, and not your children. And not younger women than you, other younger women than you. Yeah. And she told this lady that she was going to, you know, to sell her a shop. And, you know, she agreed with the lady. They made arrangements to go to the shop, and they look around and shit. And in the last minute, you know, because even the lady that wanted to buy the shop, she had bought her goods, you know, and was ready and shit. But what really, you know, puzzled me is that you told the lady that you would do it, and then the last minute you switch your words on her. And she tried to do that with me to get a reaction. You know, sadly she got a reaction out of the lady, but she didn't with me. I just quietly moved away from that individual, because that woman is a poison, I'm telling you. Yeah. And yeah, she tried to triangulate, you know, even both of us. Yeah, and I realized she likes to do that. She even tried to triangulate me, her and our daughter, you know, playing the victim. Like her daughter's supposed to give up her life and just help her with everything. I mean, you were reckless with your body. You brought this child here. And yeah, we're supposed to support each other as family, but as far as I see it, you haven't been a good example to, you know, to show how it really is to take responsibility as a woman, you know, and you trying to discredit, you know, younger women because, you know, even your own daughter, because she doesn't do things at a caliber that you require. Yeah. It's because nobody's to blame. There's nobody to blame. Nobody to blame. You know, you can't blame the child as a parent. You know, you should look at yourself. Anyway, Jezebel women are liars, walking two-sided contradiction to reality and what they speak, lacking clarity and integrity. Yeah, I noticed some women that would lie right out their ass crack, you know, just to get even an emotional response, like, you know. And like, come on, if you don't have anything to say, you don't have to say anything. Like, practice that, you know. Be in the center of attention. Sometimes I can feel the energy of others when they look at me. You know, it's like I can hear their thoughts. You know, I can't imagine. Yeah. Wanting to have so many people pulling on my energy. Like, I had to cut so many people out of my life because they were pulling on my energy, you know, in a negative way. Yeah. And life is better. I'm more stable, you know, peaceful, healthy. Yeah. And I'm just grateful, you know. I'm grateful that I choose to make the first step, you know, on my journey. Because I started pretty young, you know. I started to get aware of, you know, the things that were going into my body, like when I was a teen, you know. Because I used to play sports in school. I used to play football. Yeah, so the coach will normally tell us, you know, don't eat certain foods if you want, you know, a certain result or to perform a certain way. So that's where it started for me. I started to watch, you know, certain things. It got better over time, you know. I started with, you know, cutting off juices. I remember one time I went, you know, a year without drinking juice. But yeah, these are just things that help you to correct, you know, things within. It's not a must, but if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing yourself, you know. And it can be the simple things, you know, not just what you eat, but the way you speak to yourself. And there's the saying that says, you know, as above, so below. It doesn't go for just the skies and the seas. It's also for your brain, you know, and your stomach. Because if you look at the brain and the stomach, it looks the same, you know. The only thing is like one is, it can be separated in different sections, you know. But when you put it all together and you put it side and side, you know, the stomach lining kind of looks like the brain lining, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And what you put into your brain will affect what you want to put into your stomach, and what you put into your stomach will affect what you want to put into your brain. So yeah, food is information. Everything is information, you know. Our bodies are computers. Yeah, it has its receptive signals, you know. And when we clean those receptors off, you know, we align better for what, you know, what is for us, what is truly meant for your soul's growth, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you enjoyed, you know, you got some good insights. Yeah, take care and be great.